Well, hello again. This is Mark Davis with Workflow Diagnostics, and I wanted to review with you this short exercise that we do in our quality clinic training. This is called the Name Game Challenge, and this is a really quick exercise to demonstrate the impact of multitasking on how long it takes to actually get your work done. This is really cool because it takes a very simple game and it illustrates a very powerful concept. So we start off with a process that is rigged up to be kind of a multitask. You know, a lot of people live in the multitask world. I think most of us do. We do a little bit of one project and we put that away. We do a little bit of another project, we put that away. A little bit of work on something else and we put that away, and so on, to the point where, you know, everything is pretty much in a state of waiting and it's never really done. And the Name Game Challenge takes that whole concept and puts it on a piece of paper for people to see. So the way this works is you have just one participant come up to the board, and you ask for somebody who, you know, who has legible handwriting and thinks they can write fast or something like that. You know, somebody who can really kind of brag on themselves to start out with. And you ask them to then find 5 volunteers from the room and ask them their first name. And I'm doing this in a healthcare setting a lot, so I say, okay, let's get 5 doctors that you need to write their names down. And the way they do this is one by one they ask them their name, and they write the first letter of each name. So in this instance, it would have been, okay, what's your name? Gregory. And the person would write a G. What's your name? Reagan. And they would write an R. On down the line, okay? And I just realized we actually had 2 Rhondas in this exercise, which you think would have made this really easy, but not sure it did. But they do that, so first letter, and then they write the second letter, and then they write the third letter for each name, 4th letter for each name if it has it. I see a Mel up there that only had 3. And so on until all the names are written. So they're moving up and down the sheet, you know, repetitively as they write the letters for each name. You know, so they're moving vertically instead of horizontally to finish a name one at a time. And so in this multitasking exercise here, this first round, we measure the time that it takes to get each name done. The first one done here was Mel, took 30 seconds. The next one done, of course, was Reagan, and that was after 40 seconds. And that time is measured from the time the first letter is written until the last letter is written, so you can get an overall cycle time reading on that name. Main reason being is you want to compare it to the next round, and the next round is what you might call a unitask or a single tasking situation, maybe even a one-piece flow. But let's just get the last bits of data off this sheet here before we turn the page, and that being the fastest one here was Mel, and that was 30 seconds. Okay, fastest one here, Mel, 30 seconds, and the whole exercise took 1:14. All right. Bear with me. Don't turn the page here. So walk with me up here to the flip chart. I'm going to flip this sucker over. Yeah, I'm too cheap to hire myself a cameraman. I'm doing it myself. So, all right, here's page 2. This time we told the person who was the scribe, okay, ask the name, write the name. Ask the name, write the name. And we did the same thing. We recorded the time it took from the first letter to the last letter and wrote that down on the sheet. So here we go. First name was done in 6 seconds. The second name was done 10 seconds in. The third name was done 14, and then you see the rest 19 and 22. So the whole entire group was done in 22 seconds. All 5 of these names. Remember from the first sheet what the first name, the quickest name, was done in, how much time that took? It was 30 seconds to get the first name done. So in the multitask world, before we had even the first name done, it took longer to get that first name done than it took to get all of them done on this sheet. Okay. Well, that's the biggest takeaway here. And then, of course, we debrief. We ask people, you know, okay, so why did the first round take so long? And they pick up on the fact that you're not completing the name, you're coming back to it, you have to ask a person what their name is several different times because you might forget. You know, so there's rework and there's redundancy. There's moving up and down the page a lot, which takes time. And it just seems actually a little comical when it comes down to it. And so it illustrates what we think is a sophisticated workflow, which is multitasking. In fact, most job descriptions are going to ask, hey, I need somebody who can multitask. It illustrates how that might be a little bit off base sometimes. It might actually be better to find somebody who can focus on their work like this right here and get some work done and then go on to the next thing. And the way I try to teach my kids this is if you've got to go rake the yard and you've got to mow your, rake the yard, not mow your carpet, but vacuum your carpet. So rake the yard, vacuum the carpet, and take out the trash. You're not going to go and rake a couple leaves and then come inside and vacuum a few strips of carpet and then do the next job. You're going to actually do one job, finish it, do the second job and finish it, and do the third job and finish it, and they get the point. So, hey, if my kids can get the point, I think most adults in these training classes get the point too. So, anyway, fun exercise. Hope it works well for you. This is Mark Davis with Workflow Diagnostics.